This is now known around the league. And it's telling if DeWanna Bonner says she chose the Fever over the Lynx and Mercury to win now.
Minnesota Lynx fans, you might want to brace yourselves for this one. Cheryl Reeve was confident she had DeWanna Bonner locked in, the contract nearly finalized, the press conference probably already set, but then, out of nowhere, the Indiana Fever made their move and secured Bonner in a shocking turn of events. This wasn't just a missed signing for the Lynx. It was the centerpiece of their entire offseason strategy slipping away. Cheryl Reeve is reportedly frustrated that DeWanna Bonner chose to join forces with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever instead.
But the Lynx were there. So to choose the Fever over them is saying something. And I think all of those players choosing the Fever said all you need to know.
But here's the thing. Bonner had been dropping hints for months. Remember when she openly talked about wanting to win immediately? Or how she barely reacted when the Phoenix Mercury traded for her own fiancée, Alyssa Thomas? The warning signs were there, clear as day, yet Minnesota overlooked them all. They believed they had this locked in, that Bonner was playing chess while Reeve was playing checkers.
Glad that this really worked out, because this almost turned really ugly for the WNBA, man. You talking about Nafisa Collier being on a revenge tour. That was definitely going to be a revenge tour worth watching, man, because they were going to mop the league.
This wasn't some last-minute decision. It was a carefully planned move that had been in the works for a long time. The Lynx were so confident in their pursuit of Bonner that they were practically picking out her jersey number. They saw her as the missing piece to lead them back to championship glory, envisioning her alongside Nafisa Collier and Kayla McBride. The front office had already pictured championship parades rolling through downtown Minneapolis, celebrating what they believed would be their next title run.
And I want y'all to hear this. All 5 of last season's regular starters left during this offseason free agency. They're talking about the Connecticut Sun here, including 3 who had spent their entire careers, a collective 23 seasons with the organization. One of those players, Alyssa Thomas, sought a move to a championship contender, Phoenix, with superior facilities.
And if you need proof of just how committed Minnesota was to this plan, they even considered trading for Alyssa Thomas, Bonner's fiancée, in a last-ditch effort to seal the deal. That's the basketball equivalent of buying someone a house before the first anniversary. Bold, desperate, and ultimately unnecessary.
The Lynx also explored trading for Thomas, league sources told The Athletic, and looked at signing her fiancé and former Sun teammate DeWanna Bonner.
While Reeve and the Lynx were making their intentions loud and clear for everyone to see, Indiana played it cool. No leaks, no flashy moves, just smart, quiet, behind-the-scenes relationship building. Meanwhile, Minnesota was making a public spectacle of their pursuit. The Fever orchestrated a masterclass in patience and precision, allowing Reeve to believe she had it all locked in, while they set the stage for the perfect steal.
Nonetheless, the other things or other desires or other factors, as they say, I'm pretty sure that's the key factor of why she left and why she went to the Fever instead of the Lynx.
And just like that, it happened. Bonner turned down Minnesota's offer and chose to team up with Caitlin Clark in Indiana. The Lynx were left scrambling, and Reeve was absolutely furious. What was supposed to be their biggest off-season acquisition had slipped right through their fingers, and there was nothing they could do about it.
Now, thinking of the Lynx, man, that would be a disgusting team if she ended up going to the Lynx, man. Can you imagine Alyssa Thomas going to the Lynx, allowing Nafisa Collier to play the 4, and then you even have Bonner there as well? Like, dog, that is... woo.
DeWanna Bonner played Cheryl Reeve and the Lynx front office like a fiddle, and they never saw it coming. The craziest part, Bonner had been dropping hints about her true intentions for months, yet no one in Minnesota picked up on them. The signs were there, clear as day. If only they had been paying attention.
I can't even imagine Fee at the 3, and then you have Bonner and Alyssa at the 4 and the 5. Oh my goodness, bro. You could tell the Lynx knew that the Indiana Fever were piping up as far as grabbing some of the best players to make that organization run like a well-oiled machine, man.
Remember last season's WNBA All-Star game? Photos surfaced of DeWanna Bonner and Caitlin Clark in deep, focused conversations. These weren't just casual chats or friendly exchanges between competitors. These were the kinds of discussions that screamed, "We're planning something big." While the basketball world assumed Minnesota was the frontrunner for Bonner, she was already laying the groundwork for a future alongside Clark in Indiana.
All-Star game. Now, there's certain pictures coming around, floating around online of Caitlin Clark and DeWanna Bonner at the All-Star game, chopping it up, kind of insinuating, not saying that this is facts, that this whole situation kind of could have been in the works already.
This wasn't a last-minute change of heart. It was a carefully orchestrated move months in the making. Bonner let Minnesota believe they had the upper hand, but in reality, she had already embraced Indiana's vision long before free agency even began. While Reeve and the Lynx were busy mapping out their championship strategy, Bonner was quietly investing in the Fever's long-term blueprint.
Most of the teams do realize that that is about to happen, so they are strengthening up their roster. And that move right there would have been crazy, fam. That would have been a crazy move. Having Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner on the Lynx, that would have been unfair because then you have Fee and then you have McBride. Oh my goodness, dog.
Phoenix thought they had it locked up, pulling what they saw as the ultimate power move, trading for Alyssa Thomas, Bonner's fiancée. They were sure she wouldn't turn them down now, but reality hit hard. Bonner didn't just say no, she didn't even seem tempted. Phoenix's grand plan collapsed, leaving them scrambling to figure out what went wrong.
From the jump, I felt like Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner was going to be that other couple that always stayed together. But, you know, DeWanna Bonner pulled a rabbit out of the hat on me, man, and said, hey, I'm going Indiana.
Minnesota had every reason to believe they were the perfect fit. Championship pedigree, a seasoned coach in Cheryl Reeve, and a roster built to win now. On paper, it was ideal for a 37-year-old veteran chasing one last ring. But Bonner saw something different, something both Minnesota and Phoenix somehow missed.
But Phoenix also heavily courted Bonner, league sources said, yet the desire to win immediately, among other factors, led Bonner to the Indiana Fever.
In her official statement after signing with Indiana, Bonner didn't talk about joining an established powerhouse. Instead, she emphasized her excitement about being part of a rising organization committed to growing women's basketball. That wasn't just PR. It was a veteran recognizing real potential. While others saw Indiana as a work in progress, Bonner saw an opportunity to build something special, and now she's ready to do just that.
Now, I wonder what the other factors were. I mean, going to the Lynx is definitely a win right now situation. It's mainly the other factors that made her go to the Indiana Fever.
The Indiana Fever just went from an afterthought to the hottest ticket in town. DeWanna Bonner's decision wasn't just another free agent move. It was a statement. She wasn't chasing an easy ring. She was choosing to help transform a struggling franchise into a powerhouse. And if you ask her, that journey to greatness starts now.
I think maybe Bonner is going towards popularity. Maybe she grow that popularity, and then after the season is over with, or when she retires, she can start her own podcast and have people check in with her. I don't know. I'm just giving out hypotheticals here.
The most telling part of Bonner's decision, she didn't just say she wanted to help Indiana compete. She specifically talked about bringing them back to championship form. This wasn't about joining an established contender like Minnesota or Phoenix. It was about building something from the ground up. She saw the chance to leave a lasting impact by transforming a team that had been overlooked for years.
That move right here, she's basically saying, I want to play in front of sold out crowds. I want to get that popularity popping. I want people to sell out my jersey.
And here's where it gets even crazier. According to Asterisk, the Athletic Asterisk, Bonner's top priority was winning now asterisk. That means she truly believes Indiana gives her a better shot at a championship than Minnesota or Phoenix. Let that sink in. At first, it sounds shocking, but when you break it down, it makes perfect sense.
Hey, I feel it, man. What a business decision. And then also you have a competitive team that could actually go to the finals this year. So that's just a win-on-win situation. I knew Alyssa Thomas wasn't gonna ever think about going to the Indiana Fever the way she was talking about the fan base at the end of the season. But Yeah, man, DeWanna Bonner, man, said, look, forget what you're talking about. I'm about to take my talents to Indiana. I don't care how you feel about the organization. If this happens, I believe the Indiana Fever are going to be one of the best running gun teams you've ever seen in the WNBA. And that goes back to me saying that Caitlin Clark is still going to average 20 points, I feel, and be able to get those assists. I feel like the Fever have a great chance of averaging between 90 to 100 points a game, bro. I'm not going to lie. And Caitlin is still going to be Caitlin. She's going to be more efficient on the shooting, seeing how she's been working out, getting her shot together.
So Indiana Fever star DeWanna Bonner turned down 2 elite teams in free agency for a powerful season. Because I'm telling you right now, bro, no disrespect to the Mercury or the Lynx, but I don't see them going all the way. I mean, I see Indiana having more of a future, you know what I'm saying, than a lot of these other teams. Like, they future look good, bro. And it's like, why not be a part of history?
Regardless, so many players decided they were going to go to the Indiana Fever, which was the death knell for a lot of those there. They weren't traded. Cunningham was traded there, but Natasha Howard signed with the Indiana Fever. And I think more importantly, DeWanna Bonner signing with the Indiana Fever was representative of that.
I feel like Caitlin Clark is going to have like a LeBron season, what's going on right now, where he's getting these easy buckets and not having to work so hard for it like he used to do before Luka. So yeah, I feel like Caitlin is going to be in those predicaments where she's running off of the screens and she's getting those backdoor passes. She's getting easier buckets than she had to work for last year, which is another testament to her 20-point average.